1. Hey, welcome everybody to LanderBolt's weekly interview series. Today I have with me Ross. Ross does not do interviews. In fact, he doesn't even know we're doing this interview right now. But Ross is actually one of the best kept secrets in display media buying. And I met him about 3 years ago. And on today's interview, what you're going to hear is Ross's story of how he came from a really a background in Eastern Europe where he was very poor. He came to the U.S. And he started to learn how to buy traffic online. He is well known by almost every network as a super affiliate. He currently resides and lives his dream life. He is one of the, in my opinion, one of the top media buyers that's unknown in the industry. He has run almost every vertical. He has been on almost every traffic source that I can think of. His scope of knowledge extends from almost every single type of traffic you can think of online. Ross has been a part of. He's also a product owner himself. He has several, he's a published author, and he has several books about media buying. So if you're interested in those, that's something you're really going to want to check out. And we'll do a link. Give you a link in the description if you'd like to check out his books on media buying. So, all right, Ross, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
So, Ross, I don't talk to you often enough, but I know that when we start talking, we really mastermind, and a lot of crazy stuff happens. And it's really not appropriate sometimes for these calls. So
Yeah, I would say that.
So Ross, I have no real commercial announcements for folks on the call other than LanderBolt has just released a page import feature. As a side note, we have the meetup scheduled. And last month we had our biggest month in terms of LanderBolt users, and we also are going to raise money for the Red Cross, and we're going to have a small group at the meetup. There's more information about that too in San Diego in February. So if you are a donor, don't worry about that in the activity. Ross is
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I wanted to say first of all, that was kind of unexpected. You're right about this call today. If there are any people on the call wondering, it's not planned. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna do an interview. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't do this very frequently, so excuse me if I'm not prepared. But it was kind of sudden. And the second thing was about the meetup. This is actually This is how I got introduced to the affiliate marketing. If you guys are aware, if you know, Jordan, if you know the website meetup.com, this was the first website I got introduced back in Bulgaria. And, I was watching videos back then, and back in Bulgaria, this is Eastern Europe, there are not many guys doing affiliate marketing out there. You know what I mean? It's like deep Russia. Bulgaria is like Russia, so there are not a lot of guys doing digital marketing. So I didn't have
traps trying to trap and get furs, right, and sell furs and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But what I wanted to say was that I created a couple of meetups on meetup.com, and the first time 0 people showed up, second time 0 people showed up, and I was just right away to right before to quit. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a third one, and I'm just gonna quit if nobody shows up. So I did a third one, and on the third one 2 guys showed up, and I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. So and since then we started creating these little meetups back in Bulgaria. I mean, that was a couple of years ago, and this is how I got started, and this is how I built part of my network with other affiliates and business owners. So that's a pretty cool thing. I just wanted to say.
So let's start. Why don't we back up a little bit from your humble beginnings, growing up, how you grew up, because you do have the rags to riches story, but literally there's no one else I know who came from a harder place and rose to being a media buyer, who can media buy five figures per day. At one point, your campaigns were doing almost close to seven figures. And why don't we back up and talk about your humble beginnings in Bulgaria?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny story, by the way. When I talk to like other affiliate networks or affiliate buddies or people I just met, they hear my accent and they're like, okay, you're not American, you're not like native English speaker. And it's kind of not, they don't believe me in the beginning because I'm a media buyer and I do mostly English speaking countries. And they're like, man, you're not even from the US. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not from the US, but I bet I do more numbers than you do. So it's a funny, I don't know, how can I say, it's like just a fun fact that I'm not even an English speaker and I yet do only English speaking countries. Like I create my own advertorials, I create my own ads, fun fact, it's not a fun fact, like I was attending, like here in the States, I was attending school every day for the past, for a year and a half, English school. I mean, English school, it's like extensive. I don't know anybody like my friends, my like other relatives who was so dedicated to the learning a specific, maybe not a language, but something, but I knew that I needed to learn English so good because this was my job. This was my, the thing I'm working with, right? So I knew I have to do it. So for a year and a half, I was attending every day English school, extensive English.
Ross, let me interrupt you right there. So you actually are you specialize in English copy, and
yet I'm not an English speaker. Yeah.
Wow, that's folks. If that doesn't compel you to study copywriting, I don't know what does. I'll stop. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, well, at first, the first time when I was introduced to the copywriting was back in Bulgaria. So I was reading English like courses and educational products about copywriting, and I remember back in Bulgaria, I started like my first company. It was a product for hair loss, so it was a hair loss treatment. I don't know if it was related to me because I was, my hair started receding. But back then, what I did is I just got the principles from, I don't remember the name of this guy. I was following, that was like 6 years ago. I was following a guy. He was doing copywriting, but I don't remember his name. But what I remember is he got a system for copywriting. He got like 8 or 9 steps you have to follow, grab the attention or create a need if there is not a need, then spark the attention, or he called that a pattern interrupt and scarcity, create the need if there is no, stuff like that in copywriting. So I translated it in Bulgarian language, and I just ran some ads on Google, and I was like, okay, it was my first copy ever. I still have it. Like it's like my first copy is probably I'm gonna print it and hand it on the wall because it's pretty cool. So the first copy, I just wrote the entire website's landing page in Bulgarian, and I posted it on Google. I bought some ads on Google, and all of a sudden, the second day, I started getting sales, and I'm like, wow, this is powerful, man. Like copyright really works. And I started getting sales. I was building actually the product. I was mixing the product myself in my basement, so it wasn't like a big company. But yet later on, I had to sign up a contract with a shipment company like USPS, but in Bulgaria it's a different one. So you know, I got this contract. I started like increasing the ad spend. And funny story is that I didn't even split test back then. You know, I just wrote it out. Like I wrote the entire website, I wrote the advertorial, and I was selling this for like a couple of months. I believe it was like 8 months. I was selling this product with this very same copy without any split testing, about titles, images, colors, anything. Just, I mean, why change it if it works? I mean, now I know that if I'm still a lot smarter, I would change it a lot and I would increase my ROI. But, you know, back then for a starter, I was like, wow, I'm making money. I mean, it was pretty cool at the time. Yeah.
Ross, that reminds me of a joke. During the space race, Americans wanted to figure out how to get a pen, how to engineer a pen to write in zero gravity. So they spent almost $10 million in their R&D figuring out how to get a pen and make it work in zero gravity. And the Russians,
because the gravity actually pulls the liquid to write. There is no gravity, so
so the Russians,
the ink,
they saw that problem and they said, why don't we use a pencil? And that's kind of
right.
That's kind of what I just took from what you just said. So why don't we do this? Why don't we move forward? And I think that a lot of media buyers and marketers out there who want to make money as an affiliate, and they start with the ads, and they start with learning the platform and like learning the actual learning how to actually target an audience, things like that. But they don't start with the fundamentals of copywriting and how to get a compelling message and a compelling image to convince someone to stop what they're doing, go to a website, and then buy something online. And that's literally the formula for the entire internet. It is traffic, conversion, and cash. And you are a master at getting people to get off social media, go somewhere else, and buy something. And I believe, and I think when I first met you, you said that you were split testing like 700 Facebook images, and that's when I knew that you were someone I should.
I remember those days.
That's when I'm like, I gotta meet this Ross guy. I gotta spend some time with him. So me and Ross actually go out in nature and do some crazy stuff and together and mastermind. But Ross, why don't you tell us about that problem that people have, that where they start with technology and learn it and think and the technology aspect, but not the fundamental basics of compelling copy and images and getting a sale?
Well, it's like you said, it's all about grabbing an attention. Back in the day, I don't know, probably you've seen that we used to use titles like "You won't believe what happened next," ... or "The things she did will blow your mind," ... titles like this, because in nature, human beings are curious. Like it's by science, the scientist says that it's inside us, like inside the humans, that they're always not afraid of the unknown, but the human beings always want to learn what's next, what's the next step. So if you stop in the middle of the sentence, like "you won't believe what happened next," like it's like a mystery, and deep inside you want to see what's actually okay. Let me know what happened next. It's a human nature. But for the folks who are starting out, it's very important, I would say, to learn how. It's already out there. It just what I would suggest is just go online and start looking for ads, and every day just spare like an hour and a half looking at different ads, because honestly, the web is full with ads. So you can actually, instead of starting from scratch, this is what actually I do even now. I would go online, Google, Bing, Facebook, Twitter, wherever I go. I would just scroll and scroll and scroll, and just I would take screenshots of the ads that I see, even in Google, rather in Google, Facebook. I would take screenshots, and later on, maybe at the end of the week, I would just open my files, my notes, and I will start reading the different titles. And this is what keeps me improving, and what keeps me. I'm feeding myself. I'm feeding my own algorithm, my brain, with such an activity. So it's really about now. Before, it used to be start from scratch. You had to do everything on your own, but now everything is out there. So I would really recommend you just start looking, because nowadays people are so focused in their products. Like, I gotta make this product, I gotta make this, I gotta make this product. So they don't see the rest. They don't see the outer world. They're so focused in one thing that it blinding them to see other opportunities. So really expand your, expand your vision, I would say, and start looking for other competitors. Even big brands, they always copy each other. For example, now the Gillette, I don't know if you guys seen that, the Gillette advertising for the toxic masculinity that sparked such an they had a week ago, Gillette had on Twitter 10,000 tweets. After this ad for the toxic masculinity, they had 1.5 million retweets. What Harris did, Harris is another company that sells razors for, shaving razors. It's a competitor of Gillette. They did exactly the same. They copied the ad. They didn't do the video ad, but they copied the content of the ad and the theme of the ad. And they sparked the same attention. So it's really not about being creative. Yeah, be creative, but I think even Jordan, you like to say that smart people create, but smarter steal. So you can steal, you can copy other competitors, other people, give it your own twist. So make it appealing to your product or niche you're running. But really, don't start from scratch. Just start from something that's working already. And the more,
Ross, why don't I pause you there? And I think a lot of people on the call or listening to this audio interview are they forget about the entertainment aspect of marketing and how entertaining a lead and entertaining them in an engaging way can actually improve and has proven to convert better and target higher quality audiences. And you just mentioned something that really struck home with me. You start with things that are working, right? And and you got your start with using other people's money for your big campaigns, and also finding campaigns that were working and actually buying them. And I was like blown away when he told me about that. So if you could actually talk to us about buying campaigns, I know it's something that you don't like to share with other people because it's proprietary to your business, but buying campaigns and how that's done, because I don't know how you do it, but all I know is you start off with a winner. And then I also noticed that you really entertain your leads. So if you could, give us a little bit more info there, that'd be really helpful to the listeners.
Yeah, sure. Well, it is all about. So the first thing about the entertaining the leads is it's simple. People don't just want to buy. I'm hanging out on Facebook. I'm hanging out on Twitter. I don't want to buy something. I'm just hanging out with my friends. I'm looking dumb shit pictures, right? I'm looking at dogs or cats. So in order for me to buy something, I gotta get entertained, or I gotta get drawn into a direction. This is why we use quizzes nowadays. I mean, that's a secret, but there you are. Quizzes. It's a good tip. We use quizzes, especially for the female demographic, because it's entertaining them. So we recently were selling jewelry, and we were using a lot of quizzes. So the quiz actually, okay, let me see. I'm gonna say that. I was thinking about should I say that, but fuck it. I'll say it. What we use is a quiz about a personality, or quiz about habits. And it turns out that women actually really love that, and we have quizzes with different outcomes and asking different questions with pictures, like, do you have cats, do you love rock music, country music, what kind of colors you like. So this is the entertainment part, which is your favorite movie, etc., etc. And on the end, we would say, based on your answers you gave us, we have a complimentary gift for you, and we redirect them to the store. So we give them a little gift, but after they're redirected to the store, they see the whole inventory in the store, and they, in 75-80% of the cases, they will buy something else. So this is how we've been able to increase our sales and make them engage our customers with the products. And it's really like they don't feel like they're being sold. They feel like they participate in, sometimes we would say it's a survey. You want to take a survey. So they feel engaged with the brand, and they feel like they're not being sold. They feel like they're getting something, a reward for their answers and their, the completion of the quizzes. That's that's the first type of entertainment. The second one is with advertorials or short landing pages, where we have a blog post which explains facts and statistics and why it's good and why it's bad. For example, we were doing insurance leads, and we were explaining in one of our advertorials different types of insurance companies, what's the pros and cons, valuable information that people actually care about. And after you explain them what the pros and cons and which company has more good reviews than the other and why it's better and what kind of plans and benefits has one from another, then we present them with a sign up for our free guide, or free guide to like getting the best insurance or getting the best plan for you and your family. It's free. It's a free quote. And that for the people, they feel like, okay, these guys looks legit. They explained me so far. What does it mean? What's the difference between what's the difference from a company to a company, insurance company? So, I trust them. And it's, we split tested advertorial versus non-advertorial. We split tested ad that says sign up for an insurance company. There you go. Here's the sign up. Sign up now. Your name, your email. And then we tested the blog post that explains differences, that explains benefits, pros and cons. And guess what? The blog post converted 80% more than just straight sign up, because people were bombarded nowadays with sign up here, pay here, buy this, buy this. They don't like that anymore. They want to be entertained. So that's the second type of entertainment, just reading valuable information. And to answer your second question, Jordan, can you remind me, recall what was that? You mentioned about the first one was entertainment.
Yeah, so one thing that I heard is a rumor, and then you did confirm it, is you do purchase working campaigns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's something that is a lot of people think, all right, I'm gonna buy this campaign. How do I know it's gonna work? How do I know that it's working now? And you don't have a fear of doing that because you know that when you buy a campaign, you can't just copy and paste it. You have to take the general theory and the general knowledge of that campaign and then tweak it yourself. So there is work involved, but the whole creative process can kind of be accelerated by paying someone who's already running that campaign. And you're probably thinking, well, why is he selling it if he's running this too? And a lot of times there's people who just get bored with what they're doing and would rather just sell you the campaign in a very specific niche and let you run that for a revenue percentage or just a flat fee. So give us a little insight about doing that, and that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. Well, initially, I'm gonna start with a comparison about how much is a copywriter paid. So I have a copywriter that he's paid for $470 an hour to write a copy, and he's a badass copywriter. And sometimes it would take him like 10, 12 hours to write a copy, and that's like 4 or 5K. But you can make a lot more selling products with this copy. You know, people always see the front end price. People always see the short term price, and you know, in reality, even in big businesses, you gotta invest before you even make a buck. Big companies are getting angel investors, paying them millions of dollars investing in a companies that they don't even have a product yet ready. You know, we've seen that on Shark Tank. Like sometimes guys will just come up with, oh, we have a prototype, we need $2 million, and sometimes they will get the investment, which is, you know, they don't have any sales, anything, and they just have the idea. So people invest in ideas, but here we invest in something that is not an idea. It's already written, a copy written that is going to sell and is going to serve us. And we know that if we use quality copywriting, that this is going to bring us a lot of sales. Now, the part of buying an advertorial or a campaign, it is more like people not just get bored, but it's a quick cash. So we bought campaigns for 5K, for 10K, for $20,000, and people would just, you know, they would prefer just the quick cash, because sometimes these campaigns, you know, they make $200-300 a day. Sometimes they would make $500 to $1,000 a day profit. I'm talking about. And if a campaign is making like $100 or $200 a day, why not selling it for 10K in one day? So you made that you made the amount of money that you could have made like for a month. So you made it a quick cash in one day, which you can invest in maybe other campaign or buy more traffic. And if people are afraid buying campaigns, because, you know, their belief is that if I bought it, somebody else have bought it, and we're gonna compete against each other. Well, that's a very I was like that 5 years ago. Nowadays the market is so big that it's not about, you can't saturate the market. For example, I'll give you an example with let's see, sodas. There's so many brands of sodas, like Pepsi, Cola, water brands, Sprite, all of these like soda brands. They, you know, there's so many, and the market is the same, right? So if that was true, that the market would be saturated, if a lot of people are selling the same product, they would, you know, bankrupt these companies, right? And another thing I want to say is, about 3 or 4 years ago, when we first started buying campaigns, we were actually in a group with, I believe we were about 18 guys. So 18 guys, we bought the same campaign. So we created a group. We bought a working campaign, and we created a group to share with each other, you know, how everybody is doing, right? And hard to believe, but 18 people, we were all making money, like with the same campaign. And that's just a fact that, you know, Facebook, we were running Facebook back then. Facebook has about 2 billion people right now. And even if somebody buys from you, that doesn't mean he's not going to buy again. So people always will need to buy something. You know, I'm not just going to buy a razor or a phone case and that was it. I'm going to buy in a month or 2 months, maybe going to buy something new, or like shoes. I'm going to buy these shoes. In a couple of months, I'm going to buy another pair of shoes, right? So the need is always there. It's a loop. Insurance companies, same thing. You stay with your insurance company, in a year or a couple of months, you change it, or you're introduced to a lower payment. So you give it a shot, right? So it's a kind of closed loop where everybody have opportunity to, make a lot of money selling the same product. Now everybody's online and it's pretty easy. So for the folks who they're afraid, don't be afraid. Just you gotta test it. You just gonna go straight to it and buy a campaign or discover a campaign, find one online or spy somebody else and just run it, test it. You would never know if it's working or not if you don't test it. So might as well test it.
To another great point you just made, you don't know if the answer is yes or no if you don't ask. And the fear, I think a lot of media buyers have the fear of, if they're in a company, that if they don't launch an ad, or they launch an ad, that the other media buyers in the company are going to humiliate them, or they're afraid that their family, if they're on their own or they're affiliate, their family is going to be humiliated. So one thing recently is I recommended a book to you, and the book was like $300-400, and you procrastinated and procrastinated, and you wouldn't buy it for a while. Eventually, you did buy it, and
yeah, I remember I did buy it. And it was $400 book, man. I was like, damn, okay, damn, I have to buy it.
And the same thing happened to me about 6 years ago. A mentor told me, Jordan, buy this book. And then a couple of days later, I didn't do it. And he said, you are a swear word. I thought you were a doer. And now you have blinders on and you're not going to expand on your own education. And as soon as he did that, it gave me some hard love and started swearing at me. I bought the book, and that one book, and I'm not going to mention what it is, and you don't have to either. That one book was remarkable in my business, especially in my email marketing campaigns. And one thing about you that I really respect is whatever media that you're buying, whether it's email, it's banner traffic, or it's push traffic, whatever media you are on, you can succeed because of the concepts and things that you have invested in your own education. So let's go a little more granular into how you can blow up a campaign, for instance, on Instagram, and then you can take the same campaign and do it on email.
Yeah, well, it's pretty it's a pattern that we follow. Like before, I used to believe that you have to start from scratch every time that you find a new campaign, and even if you buy a campaign, you have to start from scratch. But the reality is no, it's a pattern you have to follow. I have it somewhere here. I wrote it like myself. I had it in my notes. It's a pattern that you follow every time you start a new campaign. Even if you buy a new one, you might tweak it to the same pattern, which is grabbing attention the first time. Or the first thing is, we call that pattern interrupt. While you are on Google or browsing a website and you see a banner, you have to grab attention, then spark a desire or spark a need, and the third one is action. This is make them sign up or make them buy something, and or create or make sign up as a lead or buy a product. Now, with the display networks and the Facebook and the Twitter, I mean, I'm just mentioning all these networks. We run traffic pretty much all around. We have the GDN, we have the search, but really migrating a campaign. Now, the second part, once it's working somewhere, then it's pretty easy to migrate it. I've migrated a campaign from Facebook to Taboola, and I've migrated a campaign from Taboola to Yahoo, the marketplace of Yahoo Gemini. And once it's working somewhere, you have to just tweak the campaign a little bit to fit the network, because different networks, they have different requirements for banner sizes and ad titles. and you just have to do a little tweak, and you're ready to go. Of course, when you start a new network, new traffic source, you have to spend a little bit of money to warm up the pixels, warm up the campaign, and actually, it's I would love to start a campaign on a new traffic source and be profitable right away, the same day. But in reality, honestly, it would take a couple of days to pick up. In the first couple of days, you might lose money. Sometimes we lose money in the first couple of days, but sometimes we break even, which is pretty good. So we try to break even the first days. And by break even, I mean our system is simple. So let me share my system, how I test new traffic sources. I would spend $100, right? I would spend $100, and I would try to break even on these $100. If I don't break even on these $100, I'll shut it off. Then I'll try $50 with a new targeting, and let's say I break even on these $50. Then I will increase exponentially. I'll increase to 200, 400, 500 right away. And if I'm still breaking even, that means I'm onto something. I have to just do a little tweaks. And from breaking even, from 500 breaking even, it's pretty easy to optimize, because you don't lose money at that point. I mean, you're just brokering money, and you have the ability to just tweak campaigns, tweak traffic sources, targeting, and you don't lose money. You just optimizing for free, which is pretty cool, and that gives us the ability to test. But once the campaign is working on a traffic source, like you said, Instagram. So let's say you have Instagram working, then it's pretty easy, because it's already working on Instagram. Your demographic on Instagram, your pretty much all your audience on Instagram, and it's pretty easy to migrate that to a different network, because you pretty much know everything already. So you know how to target on the new network, you know who to target on the new network. Like I said, you just tweak the creatives a little bit, tweak the titles, and it should be ready to go. And that's pretty much how it's done. Nothing special.
That's incredible information. And why don't so if you're on the call, why don't we go ahead and start Q&A? So go ahead and press 1 if you're on your telephone, and we'll start queuing up the questions. And while we do that, Ross, would you mind sharing with the newbies out there the first steps to get their feet wet? And we're always hesitant about making that first jump. I was hesitant, but when I first bought Optimized Press, which was a WordPress theme that allowed you to do internet marketing style websites, and I was really hesitant to make that first leap. I made that first leap. I bought Optimized Press, and then I made another leap, and I bought I think it was Aweber at the time, and then I made another leap, and I bought a course, an ebook on how to do email marketing, and I made another leap, and I started making free content and built my list, and I kept making these leaps of faith, knowing that it could not work. And then the day came, and I remember I was sitting in my little apartment, and I've been building a list, and I did exactly what they said. I sent the list an email every day. I actually made them a video. At the time I was doing martial arts, so I sent them a martial arts video every day. And I went to the mentor who was guiding me, and I'm like, well, I haven't made any money. And he goes, have you offered him anything?
Right. There we go.
I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, have you offered him anything? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then I kind of went back home, and I'm like, whoa, I haven't even went for a sale yet, because I'm too scared. Because I'm too scared of no's. So I made another leap of faith, and I got a GoPro camera, and I filmed, I think it was about a couple hours of video. I bought this membership site called Digital something, and I spent like I think 2 weeks trying to hook it up with PayPal and the membership
Oh
area.
yeah.
And finally, I got it to work. And I remember this was years ago when email marketing was so easy that you could, send 3 emails out, preparing your list, and then telling them on Monday morning at 8 a.m. click on the link and do an email promotion, and that was really effective. And that's become much less effective now because of how stringent spam laws have become and how people have saturated that, and how email solicitation laws are coming. But anyways, I hit that send email, and all of a sudden I got sales, and it was bing, bing, bing. The PayPal sales just kept coming in.
Beautiful feeling.
Yeah, it was the first time I had ever had a time money disconnect. So, money just flooding into my PayPal account, and I was just sitting there. I wasn't. Before that, I had been trained in a blue collar type of industry where my father traded an hour for $1. And I know you came from a really humble background where that's kind of the same way you were brought up. You work hard, but you work really hard too. And your work ethic is you have one of the best work ethics I've ever seen. At the same time, you've told me that there's times that you don't work for 48 hours. At the same time, you have one of the most incredible work ethics, and you align yourself with trusted people and leverage their money. But
Yes.
you have a really unique perspective on hard work. And one person in the audience just had a question about the 700 Facebook ads and how much time that's taken and things like that. Looks like we had another person just write in about how you learn Photoshop and all that stuff, and maybe you can give them perspective about working hard and hardly working.
Yeah, well, I actually was working very, very hard in the beginning. When I was starting out, I was working I was basically trading my time for, I was, I was, the business was me. I was the business. I was doing the Photoshop. I was doing the ads. I had video ads. I was writing the copy. I was creating the videos. I was setting up the campaigns. I was doing the media buy. I was setting up the websites. I was writing code. I was the business. I was everything. Like if somebody asked me at the time, who's your accountant? I'm my accountant. Who's your designer? I'm the designer. Like who's the CEO? I'm the CEO. I'm the owner. I'm the CEO. I'm the designer. I'm everything. And I was thinking back then, my mind was that I have to do everything myself to make it perfect. Make it perfect. If I do it myself, I'll make it perfect. If somebody else do it, it won't be perfect. So my mentality at the time was limited. I was thinking that I have to do everything, and it was wrong. I was so wrong, man. I was so wrong. I actually saw from you that you were making way more money than I do, and you were working just a couple of hours a day. And I was like, man, how he can do that with working less than I work. And so I started thinking, okay, I'm doing everything, and I was trying to figure out how to do it better. So what I did is, it was a very, very I was fighting with myself to hire a designer, and I was fighting. I was like, I don't know, I have to pay him. I don't know if he's gonna be good. I don't know if he's gonna follow my style of creating ads. I was so hesitant in the beginning, but even I remember we had a call with you before, at the time, and you told me, Ross, you gotta do it. Like if you want to be successful, if you want to be more successful, I mean, you're successful right now, but if you want to be successful and free, you gotta do it. You gotta trust somebody else. And
Interrupt you.
that was,
Ross is the type of client I have where I can give him tough love. I can swear at him. and he takes it
Yeah.
because, but I know there's a lot of you who can't take that. But that's how I motivate Ross, and that during our calls, and Ross is my highest level clients. When I need to motivate him, I give him a kick in the ass, basically. So
Yeah.
and he just mentioned outsourcing and hiring people that are better at doing what you do. And someone in the audience just mentioned that too, that they're scared of hiring someone if it doesn't work. Well, if you can't afford not to hire someone, because if you're creating a business and a company, there are businesses and companies that the founders and owners don't do anything. They don't even, all they do is check the books at the end of the month, because they've done what Ross has done, and they've hired a designer who does nothing but design and can actually do it better than him. So I think that's the biggest thing holding people back, Ross, is they're afraid, oh, this person isn't going to be better than me at what I do. But when you're doing so many things in your business, you actually limit yourself, and you can't be that perfect person. But I guarantee you, there's someone out there that's a lot faster at typing than me. I type about seven words a minute.
That's pretty fast.
And it took me a year to hire an executive assistant who literally could type like she was. And that changed my business forever, because I didn't have to do email support anymore and type on my own. And then what I found is when you hire the best people, they'll give you other people to. We just had another question. We got another question too. Why don't we wrap this up, Ross? I know that.
Just to quick interrupt you, just want to say something that the opposite is also true. Like if you start, because I've seen that businesses, friends of mine, business partners of mine, they failed because they started out by just hiring people because they had the money. They came from good families, wealthy families, and they thought, okay, I'm gonna hire everybody to do all the jobs. So they hired a bunch of people, and couple of months after, they fail because they don't know the structure of their own business. So what I recommend for newbies is crucial. It's very crucial to know your business like your both hands. Like you gotta, in the beginning, I suggest you do everything on your own. Like you create your own ads, you create your own copy. Like, because this is how, swim. This is how you learn to swim. You jump in the water and you start swimming. That's it. Not hiring people to jump in the water for you and they swim, and when they have questions, excuse me, I'm drawing, what to do? And you're like, I don't know, I never been in the water before. This is how it works. So and you mentioned Photoshop. One guy asked for Photoshop, how I learned Photoshop. I actually was watching videos on YouTube. Now everybody can go on YouTube. I was watching videos on YouTube how to do certain things. I would need probably to resize a picture or change the colors of the picture. And I would just type in YouTube, okay, changing colors of a picture in Photoshop. And there's so many videos. And for the folks who really want to do that, I have a free software which is online. It's hosted online. It's completely free. I don't have any affiliation with it. I was using it before I started because Photoshop might be pricey for some folks. So if you don't want to pay for Photoshop, you just type in Google Photoshop online, and one of the first websites, it's called pixelword.com. It's pixelword.com, I believe was it. And they have free online Photoshop. So it's hosted in your Google Chrome, and you can do pretty much all the work that you do with Photoshop. Now I use Photoshop personally, and my designer is using Photoshop. But for the folks who can't afford Photoshop, just go online, type Photoshop online in Google, and you can have it for free.
That's great too. That'll save you some money. But I think Ross also mentioned that scared money don't make money, and that's one thing that you gotta talk about, Ross, as the last thing. And then I want to also talk about your new course that has so many screenshots and case studies of all your past work, and how all your past work is very relevant in today's media because of its evergreen copy and the theory about it. And I'm really excited to get a copy of this when it comes out. And I know you're working on it. It's going to be something that as soon as I'm going to grab a copy as soon as it comes out, because sometimes I see a Facebook ad from you and I'm like, there's an artistic style about it. It's like you're an artist at what you do. So I'll be grabbing that as soon as it comes out, and then
there's a specific style behind our ads that we have a certain way creating ads that nobody else have the same way. Like, we're kind of standing out of the crowd, which is, I'm not trying to brag about myself, but yes, we really do have our own style, like a artist, like a painter. Every painter or artist has their own style, and we have to.
So I think you said something in the you have this book course that you got coming. I want to talk about that too. So there's a link in Vimeo under this. Go to that link and check out the course. I believe it's either a physical book, or I'm not sure yet. Ross's has something like 50. I know you said you had about 50 different Facebook ads that you had taken screenshots of or something, or more in there, and you had some other awesome stuff.
What we have 5 years of work summarized in this book. 5 years of work, 5 years of media buy, everything summarized in categories, and it's pretty good. Like, I was, wow, man, we've done so much, and I lose track on what we've done because we have so much things going on. And when we laid it out in this book, I was like, damn, man, we had a lot of a lot of things we run lately.
Yeah, and that's something I noticed about your Ross. I saw an ad of a turtle shell house type thing and some copy and emojis and things, and I thought, wow, that's so relevant today than it was years ago. And a lot of people who are coming into the industry, they need to see that stuff, because that's stuff that's always going to work, creativity. And that's why I'll be probably, as soon as this comes out, I'm going to be the first buyer, because I want to get into buying traffic myself for my own business. And I don't want to brag, but I do have a consumer division of my company, and we're making a physical product, and it's actually a mini ATV four-wheeler that we're producing, and I'm going to start doing e-commerce, and I'm going to buy this because I want to learn how to write copy and get people to buy and compel them, and really do what I do best, is buy this thing, give it to someone else in my company, and let them do it for me. But if you guys are interested, there's a link below. You can sign up to get in the waiting list. I don't know when he's gonna have it done. Ross and me talk a lot, but
we basically wanted to do like this book. We wanted to make it the Bible nomads. Like, we wanted to make it like the Bible. It doesn't matter if you're doing affiliate marketing, e-commerce, lead generation, if you're a chiropractor or dentist. The principles we laid out in this book are fundamental, and they can be used in any industry, because, like I said, we have patterns, and you just follow the patterns. And of course, we have many case studies and different campaigns that we've run. Some of them they still run to this day, so they're pretty. I mean, it's not something that was running. Yes, we have past successes there, but we also have something that is running even today. So it's really we try to make it the guide for not only newbies, but for guys who are advanced marketers as well. So it's going to be like just the Bible. This is what we try to create, the Bible of the affiliate marketing and marketing, digital marketing in general.
Ross, so my product's physical, and it's not a digital product. So that's why I'm really excited about this, is the course that you've talked to me about. We've talked about it, and I've had the privilege of helping and giving Ross some advice on how to make this perfect course. because no matter what you do, what kind of business you do online, you can apply these copywriting concepts and these images concepts and all Ross's years and years of research, hundreds of thousands of hours of research, and it's all condensed in a really great way for you to learn how to do this. And at the end of the day, all this is about is making money online and simplifying that. And Ross is very, very good at copywriting and very good at getting people to do a specific action. And if you own a pizzeria and you want to do online ads, you want people to buy your pizza, and the same concepts from that work the same way if you are running ads on Facebook and you want someone to click through and buy some kind of diet or exercise pill or program. And there's no difference between those. Business is a business, and Ross's book does highlight that, how the concepts and theories that he teaches can be applied to anything you do online, no matter what you do. So there's a link below this video. Go ahead and click on that and get on the waiting list. If this video is old, I'm not sure if you're watching this interview and the course is ready, then you'll be able to click below and buy it. If not, click on the link anyways, just to see how Ross's copy that he uses to actually sell the course, and read that copy so that it's really good. He has a really good copy on that page. So either way, click below. Ross, thank you for being on today and giving everyone such great. I got a lot out of the call and gems in the call, and I appreciate you getting on the call. So thank you, Ross. And
Thanks
folks,
for having me.
You're welcome, folks. Again, it's been a pleasure, and that's it for this week's LanderBolt's Success Hour with an interview with Ross. And we will talk to you folks next week. We have a couple of great lineups of interviews. One of the first founders of the first performance tracker ever to come out. He basically birthed trackers and the tracking industry. So that is it for today's interview Success Hour, and I will talk to you folks next week. Thank you. Bye.